friends, welcome back. I'm so happy to be back. I know that I was enjoying my holidays. I hope that you enjoyed all of your holidays. Listen, I enjoyed my holidays so much I dragged them bad boys all the way through January. Okay. And today is a special day for me. Today is my 45th birthday and I get to spend it with you. How dope is that? That means that we're friends. Listen, there's going to be a little bit of changes to my schedule. I will now be posting videos on Fridays. That's right, the day for fries. Now, I'm not going to be posting every week, but I will post once or twice a month, depending on the month and my routine at home. I hope that you can still come, hang out with me, sew some things, learn some tricks, make some jokes, who knows? Because I definitely love seeing you here, especially in my comments. Every single time I post a video, you all are super supportive. So I hope that you can support my new schedule where I'll be posting every other Friday. Okie dokie, okie dokie. So let's learn about what I did this week. This week, I call it Remake Your Make, because I took a make that I already had, my Sew Scrappy top, and I remade it into some other kind of fashionable top that I saw on Pinterest. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. It was so much fun and lots of mess. A little bit of tears and some gnashing of teeth. Do you want to see how it went? You got to stick around. I'm Nye, as always, with Ellie and Mac. I'll see you in a second, friends. Come on. Today, I'm going to make over this make because I found a top that I really liked, and so I'm going to use this top to make another top. I know, I may not be the only person that makes things and then wears them over and over again to the point where I'm just like tired of wearing them. I can't do this no more! So let me show you what I'm trying to do. There's a picture probably here that I'm going to use to make over this top. I'm going to use this top and this button up that I stole from my husband. Don't tell him. If you tell him, we are not friends. He's going to watch this video and I'm going to have to tell him myself anyway. So in the photo, the woman had like this, kind of this way, and draped across. So it was like draped across. And so her like shoulder was out. And so my plan is to cut off this sleeve and put a binding or band here, and then pin this where I would like it to start, here where the collar comes around and to the front, just like this, and pin that down my body. My plan is also to shorten this because I don't need all this extra. Hello, I don't need it. So I'm gonna cut that off and probably cuff it. And then I'm going to take what I have of this sleeve and potentially add it to this side because this is a little bit tight. And in the photo, her shirt isn't as tight at the armscye. So I'm gonna add a little bit of extra at the armscye, and hopefully that will kind of make it more larger. For lack of a better word to use. It would just make it a little bit wider. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm going to go ahead and get to cutting this sleeve off and pinning this top the way that I would like it so I can kind of work on this top. So, wish me luck. Okay, so joke's on me. I cut off the wrong sleeve. Fail number one. But that's okay, because I can still put this short together and it will still look super cute, even if the cute side isn't the side that I wanted. I kind of wanted it on this side, but whatevs. So, I got the sleeve off. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure this, and I'm going to like just like this. Just measure this curve, and I'm going to multiply that curve by 2 so that I get the complete circumference. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply that by 0.80, and that will give me the band length that I need for this side of the sleeve. Okay, so after pinning the shirt, what I realized is that this is great. However, this business is not okay, Nancy. Okay, I've unpinned my top and I marked where I wanted that collar to land. And it doesn't matter that I've marked the shirt because I'm going to have to wash it because I managed to get my makeup all over it because I was trying to be cute. That's what I get for trying to be cute. I'm not a fan of how this kind of pinned out. I think I need more shoulder. So this needs to come down, and I think I would have it come closer to the center and then come down like that. The back, I'm just now looking at, and I feel like the back also needs more, come over more. So we'll see. Okay, so there has been a whole ton of trial and error. I have pinned and unpinned and cut and couldn't uncut. You can't uncut. But I have done about a zillion fittings with this shirt. In the end, I decided to cut off the collar because the collar wasn't actually big enough to make that like fold over thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of excess fabric from the other side of the shirt that I cut off to put the flap here on the side. I took the hem out of this shirt because I felt like the two, they didn't feel like they were one shirt when I had a hem or when I had that knit hem on the bottom. So I took that off. I'm also contemplating losing this sleeve because I kind of feel like this gives me pajama vibes and this gives me sexy hot girl winter vibes. Okay, maybe not sexy hot girl winter, but I'm confused. Pajama time, you know, my dilemma. So I do have the sleeve from the woven shirt here. And I'm thinking about trying it out on this side, maybe like this, kind of sewing it into the knit side, but then taking the cuff from the knit and putting it onto the woven. Now you got to be careful when you're mixing wovens and knits because honestly there's lots of pulling in the wrong directions and stuff like that, but I really feel like this gives me a better vibe with the black cuff on this side, and also with this side I'm probably going to shorten this so that the cuff isn't like, what's up y'all? So next, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give this a little trim, maybe even move the cuff back a tad so that it doesn't look like I have like an abundance of extra sleeve. And I'm also going to somehow create a hem for the bottom. If I have to just fold it up and have this be like a little bit of a crop, I might do that. Or I might just use like a binding kind of thing, or maybe I'll put the original hem back on all the way around. Who knows? Now, what I am tempted to do is to cut this out because I literally sewed on top of this shirt. So all the excess is in here like, hey girl, nice and extra warm on this side. But I don't know because this shirt isn't terribly opaque. So I wonder if I'm going to have like, I don't know, stuff showing that I don't want showing because it's not terribly opaque. So, I don't know. I think we're doing pretty good here. I'm going to go ahead and keep on going. Please, I hope this comes out well because I've had so many mishaps with this top, but I'm trying to be creative here and whatever, right? If I could do it and cut up all of my husband's shirts, maybe you won't have to, right? Okay, give me a second. Yep, so after all that work, I'm going to go ahead and remove this sleeve and put a different one on. Okay, so now I have this sleeve done with the cuff on it that I wanted, and I can kind of fold it up or fold it down, right? And then I have this sleeve the way that I like it, and for this one I actually have a cuff so that I can fold the cuff up. Now this one's just going to stay like that because I kind of like the way it is. I went ahead and I serged the bottom so that I can attach a facing instead of doing a regular hem. So that's what I'm going to do to the bottom. And there's the back. And I still am thinking about maybe doing a cuff here around the arm, or not arm, but around the arm, or potentially a bow. But I think a bow might be a little bit too much. So let's see what happens. Okay, so in order to do this hem, which I have serged here, I went ahead and I created some facing. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this here, and then I'm going to flip it over and bend it inward, right? So when I bend it inward, of course it will be sewn, and then I can take this folded edge and fold it around and top stitch it. So basically what will happen is this will all be inside of my shirt. So sew it on here, right? Bend it inward, and then I will bend this also and sew or top stitch. And this way you will not see this on the right side of my fabric, but you'll see right about here there'll be some stitching. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get that done. Okay, so in order to make the part of the top that's going to go around my shoulder, I decided to copy the shape of and I tossed it in the trash, didn't I? Phil. I thought I would copy the shape of the actual collar, but I'm not going to make it super pointy like this. But what I did is I copied the shape of the collar, and then I made it a little bit wider so that I have enough seam allowance to sew it to the top, and also because the top in the picture seems to be a little bit wider than this low collar here. I also chose to use some very lightweight interfacing on one of my pieces. You can even see how lightweight it is. See? Very lightweight. So, and you can also see my drawing mishaps here, but that's okay. That will come out in the wash. So I'm going to sew these right sides facing, and then I'm going to sew it to the top in kind of a flap way. So once I sew these together right sides facing, I'm going to go ahead and top stitch right around to give it that definition. And then I'm going to flip it inside out, or excuse me, flip it right side out. And then I'm going to sew this edge to the edge of my top and understitch it so it stays like this over my shoulder. And if I don't like it, you know, I'll just cut a little width off of it. I also have some buttons, which I think, since I took some buttons off of the placket to put the shirt together, I may actually put buttons on both sides of the placket, just for fun. I'll be right back. Okay, now that I have the shoulder flap, for lack of a better word, sewn, I have it, see, top stitched all the way around, so pretty. And then I serged the top, see, so pretty too. And now I am going to try to position it onto the actual top. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fold over the top edge and kind of iron it just so I can get an idea for placement's sake. And then I'll pin it in place and sew it. Alrighty, here I go. Wish me luck. Oh my goodness, wasn't that fun? Okay, so the whole process was not fun. I did a little bit of crying.
Like, are you going to cry or are you going to boss up? First of all, I'm going to do both.
Overall, I'm super happy with how the top came out. That was so fun. I'm going to try to bring to you some more upcycles, recycles, and remakes of my makes, just because I think it was a super fun thing to do. Double check that you have that notification bell clicked so you don't miss a notification for when I post. I generally will post about 6:30 p.m. and I'll put a little reminder up probably about an hour or two beforehand so that you know it's coming and you can be like, and have your snacks ready. Because I love snacks. I had a great time hanging out with you. I will see you next time I make a video on Friday, y'all. Bye. Have a fabulous, super sweet